you can earn more money, and that's going to increase your savings, but also your standard of living. Who doesn't want to learn what are the most high income skills? What are the most valuable skills to learn in 2024? I feel like everybody wants to know these things. Everybody realistically wants to make the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time. I'm also pretty sure people want freedom, the ability to do whatever they want. So today I want to cover some high income skills that are worth learning in 2024. This video came about from some of the questions that I get asked by you guys, and also some of the videos that I've been watching on YouTube, like this one by Oliur. In this video, Oliur covers 4 high income skills that are worth learning for 2024, and I wanted to expand on those. So Oliur suggests doing web design and web development, video editing, sales and marketing, and then using AI. These are obviously really important areas that are growing year on year, and they're good skills and areas to get into for 2024. Realistically, content marketing, web design, and other web professionals or any other design work is just growing year on year. It's not as if this is going to slow down. When you learn these high income skills, it's not like you can just do them for yourself. You can also hire out your services to different small businesses around the place and start freelancing, which is what I really encourage people to do as much as possible. That's the only true self-sufficiency, in my opinion. Everybody's worried about what's the best stock to invest in, or a few years ago it was obviously everybody investing their money in crypto. But I always urge people to take your time and your money and invest it in yourself. And as cliche as that sounds, it actually makes more sense than anything. If you're earning a regular income and you're saving as much of it as possible, you have to really reduce your standard of living in order to save more. And then with the investments, you're kind of hoping that it pays off. Whereas when you invest in yourself and learning a high income skill, you can earn more money, and that's going to increase your savings, but also your standard of living. Learning today is easier and harder than it's ever been before. It's easier because there's so much information out there at your fingertips for free, but it's also harder for the exact same reason. Things can be unstructured, hard to find, a little bit of misinformation, and it can result in a lot of wasted time. And more than anything, it can feel overwhelming. I definitely felt like this when I was learning my high income skill. So instead of worrying about stockbrokers and what to invest in, let's invest in ourselves and go over 6 specific areas that you can focus on to pay dividends for the rest of your life. Oliur did a great job of talking about 4 key areas, but I'm going to give you 6 roadmaps. These skills are skills that you can use to freelance, do contract work, or just run a one-person business model. Some of these skills can earn you up to $30,000 per month, and I personally know people earning $10K a month with these skills. Oliur mentioned this one already, but coding and web design. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that my channel is all about how I learned to code and started freelancing. Of course, this is going to be the first thing I recommend because it has the highest payoff. This was the first skill I actually stuck with long enough to actually have the high income skill and freelance with. When I first started out, all I wanted to do was earn a remote income. If I was able to earn an Irish minimum salary, but from anywhere in the world, that was a huge success for me. I absolutely loved the lifestyle change that it brought by being 100% remote and being able to live wherever I needed to. Coding isn't something that I was naturally drawn to. Realistically, I did like a computer studies class in school and I absolutely hated it. I had no interest in it. But I did know that this is a high value skill, and if I stick with it, I can live the lifestyle that I want. So I can live where I want, and whenever I want, I can move. So I went into coding with a little bit of curiosity, a lot of enthusiasm for money, but I just didn't want to hate it. That was my main ambition. Just make sure that you don't hate it, because if you hate it, then it's a waste of time. To the surprise of everybody around me, and myself included, I actually didn't hate it. I started to really enjoy it. I liked the creative aspect, I liked the problem solving, and I liked how it's kind of an endless learning game. You're always finding new challenges that you can solve, and you feel like you're on a constant wheel of self-development, which I always love. On top of that, I can work whatever hours I want. As long as I delivered the agreed project on time with the client, it's no problem. I get paid, they get happy. It's all bueno. One of my favorite aspects, which I didn't expect, was as a freelancer, you get to speak with small business owners or big business owners with big ambitions, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I like to talk to people who have small one-person businesses or who are trying to make stuff happen in the world, and That's a huge upside and a social aspect and outlet of learning to code that I just never expected. Learning to code and web design changed the way I think. It changed the way that I do and approach my hobbies. It has changed the way that I approach getting something complicated in the post or hitting a problem with my computer. I'm quite happy to just sit through documentation, read instructions and problem solve now, and that was not me years ago. There's a running joke that when people ask you, oh, you're a web developer so you can fix my printer. I can fix your printer, but not because I know how to code. It's because it changes the way you think. You can kind of just approach problems in a different way with an open mind, and problems no longer give you this kind of anxiety. Option number 2 is a little bit different, and it's specific email marketing. So email marketing has been around forever. Every small business has email marketing, or they should have. That's why when you sign up on a website, they take your email address and then they'll send you a flow of consecutive emails. This process is called creating a funnel, and there's loads of different softwares that you can use to implement these funnels. There's ClickFunnels, etc. But one that's really blowing up these days is ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is an email marketing software that allows you to kind of break up your audience using what's called segmentation. It also allows you to customize your emails, add different types of templates, and also add automations. Now, every single business needs some kind of automation, and it can be a bit complicated. If you're a business owner and you're running something non-technical as your business, like even a product like an e-commerce store, you need to have email marketing. And oftentimes what they'll do is they'll hire experts in that specific software. So what they'll do, or what I would do, is just search, oh, what's a good software for my email marketing? So I'll find that ActiveCampaign is the number 1, and then I'll try and find a freelancer who can do that work for me. And I know somebody who is doing ActiveCampaign and getting 10,000 euros per month by freelancing. And he said to me that the easiest thing is it takes a long time to learn, but when you have it, it's almost copy and paste because there's so many similar businesses, or funnels are the same more or less once you have the framework down. And a really good way to learn ActiveCampaign is number 1, their website where they have learning resources, and number 2, YouTube, where you've got loads of experts sharing advice for free. So it's a really good area to get into. And as you build up your email marketing skills, you can transfer them to different types of email providers. So it's a really valuable skill, and it can also transfer to your own business yourself. Now, I did name drop this one already, but HubSpot and Salesforce, this is number 3. What is HubSpot? HubSpot is a customer management software. So I think it's called a customer relationship management software, or CRM. And Salesforce is another one. And basically you can become an expert in Salesforce or HubSpot. Now, why and who are using these? Well, these softwares are used to track the progress of customers essentially. So if somebody signs up to your email newsletter or whatever, and you're a small business, you need to track at what point in the funnel are those various customers. You know, are they a lead? Did you call them already? Did they buy something already? Did they add something to the cart? Where are they in the sales journey? And a lot of this stuff is quite complicated, especially if you don't have a CRM. So many small businesses and huge businesses will use things like Salesforce and HubSpot. The thing is, these softwares are really complicated for some people. Some people have kind of bitten off more than they can chew when it comes to these softwares, so they hire experts to implement and set up all of this stuff for them, and even train some of their employees on how to use that stuff. So what can you do, and what does this mean to you? Well, I have a friend, a very close friend, who's making really good money. He's even employing people, working as a Salesforce consultant. Salesforce allows you to get certified. So you can become a Salesforce certified expert. That is a difficult combination of words, but you can become an expert through their own online exams. You do have to pay for the examinations, but you can do all of the learning and the resources for free. And HubSpot also offers all of this type of assets where you can learn online for free. I highly recommend this. Yes, it's going to take a while to learn all of the dashboard and how to do different things. You'll have to invest a little bit in learning, but that's where it comes back to just investing in yourself. This is a really good area because you're dealing with businesses that are slightly bigger, and it's genuinely a business need. Email marketing is really important, but customer management and working with these big softwares is daunting for a lot of businesses. So if you can go in there and basically clean up shop, people will pay you a lot of money. Both companies have training and certificates on their website that you can do and you can apply for, so that's where I would start. Number 4, Figma and UX design. You've probably seen this everywhere. It was a big movement in kind of 2020, and it's like an entryway into big tech. But Figma is a really interesting software because it was so successful that many people have copied it. So there's a huge carryover. If you can learn something like Figma, you can probably already do Adobe XD, Sketch, even things like little web builders like Framer, and many more. Spline, I think, is very similar also. But UX design is user experience design. And that's essentially designing processes and interfaces that are user-friendly. So we've all been on websites where links don't work, or you can't go back to where you were previously, or just little annoyances happen. You add things to cart, they go missing, or the whole user experience is all over the place. And so many companies are finally realizing that they've created a monster, and they're hiring UX designers to go in, redesign the process, and then it's developed. So Figma is pretty much the primary tool that's used for this, and it allows you to prototype, it allows you to design things quickly and iterate over ideas. If you want to be a UX designer, you're going to need to learn what's called design thinking, and there's loads of short videos on YouTube that you can follow. There are longer videos on YouTube that you can follow, and there are even courses by Google that are run through Coursera. So I would start with YouTube videos and then dip into different courses, but primarily just building things. There's a load of books you can read, and that's where I would dive in. UX design is one of those industries that's quite competitive to get into a big job, but you could get into some small jobs through freelance platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, or you could just suggest small businesses that you would like to rework their website. A lot of times websites are designed and built by developers, essentially for developers, and realistically many developers don't have great design sense, let's just say. So the opportunity is there to restructure some of these websites just that are local to you. I would build up a portfolio and then start applying for gigs. Skill number 5 that I recommend is that you learn Shopify, but not just Shopify conversion rate optimization. What is that? Well, a conversion on a website, something like an e-commerce store, would be if somebody signs up to the email, or if somebody adds something to their cart, or ideally somebody makes a purchase and checks out. So these would be conversions. Conversion optimization is where you adjust the website so that more of these conversions happen. Imagine you're running an e-commerce store that sells phone cases, and everybody's going to your website, but only 1% of those visitors are actually converting. They're actually buying what you're selling. Well, you've probably had to spend a lot of money on the advertising to get people to that website, and now they're not buying, so it's money out of your pocket. You're trying to optimize your Shopify website to convert more people. So that could be through maybe your advertising and messaging, but usually it could be small things on the website that you can A/B test. A/B testing is where you show one user a certain version of the website and you show another user a different version of the website. And then whichever one performs better, that's what you move forward with. And you can use tools like Google Optimize and Google Analytics to keep track of all of these things and to make adjustments over time. This is a really good area to get into because you're providing businesses with more money. Okay, so if you can offer a business a higher return on their investment, they're going to pay that all day long. Think about it yourself. If you could give me $1 and I could give you $2 back, you would just keep giving me money because it's doubling your money. And that's how businesses think. If you can optimize their website, that's going to give them more money, they will give you more money. Now, this skill is quite tricky. It does require data analysis. It does require the ability to use analytical tools and how to know your way around the Shopify platform. But luckily, all of these things are out there on the internet for free, and there's loads of books that you could read on the topic. 2 books that I recommend you check out before you get started are Don't Make Me Think by Stephen Krug and Conversion Optimization by Khalid Saleh. This could be a specific area that you take on after you've learned UX design, or you could just go directly into it yourself. And this final skill, number 6, is the one that I personally met a guy who was making $30,000 a month using. And that is media buying. Have you seen what a Premier League football player is getting paid these days? Have you seen what football teams are spending just to have the best players? Well, why are they spending so much? How are they getting money? Well, the reason is, look at all of the advertising. Advertising is what makes the world go round. Look at the ads on this YouTube video. Look at the ads on the side banner. Anything that you go onto, any different websites, they all have ads on them. And that's because companies are spending huge amounts of money on advertising. And two of the most popular platforms for advertising are Meta and Google. Huge budgets are spent every year on pay-per-click advertising. Any area that there's a lot of money being spent, there's a lot of money to be made. Meta advertising runs on Instagram and Facebook mostly, and Google you can think of as YouTube ads. You can become an expert media buyer who specializes in helping companies spend their marketing budget accurately and getting a return on their investment. Now, this is a really valuable skill, and there's many videos on YouTube teaching you how to do this. Ultimately, it's going to be difficult to get your first couple of clients until you can prove that you're getting results. There are loads of people who run Google ads agencies or Facebook ads agencies, and many little marketing companies do run ads also. So a really easy way to get into the business would be to contact some of these marketing agencies, do a little bit of content creation, and also learning the platforms. I would suggest that you start off with one or another platform. Learn Google. You can get Google certificates. Meta, there's a whole curriculum there, there's exams, you can get certificates as well. Getting these certificates in one or another will specialize you, and you can then apply for jobs in small marketing agencies which usually offer media buying as part of the package. They will do the advertising for these companies. Sometimes you're going to have to make content, other times you'll just have to drip feed that content in the form of different ads and different creatives. There are many people who are running Facebook ads campaigns for other companies, and they get a percentage of the ad spend. So if you're working with a company who's spending 100,000 per month on their ads and you're getting 20% of that, that's a lot of money. I hope you found at least one of these skills useful and maybe inspiring as an area to go into for 2024. The key to success is working to your natural talents and strengths, and also sticking with one high value area for long enough. I chose to learn to code, and I'm really grateful that I did. It completely transformed my life and my earning prospects. If you want to learn more about how I did it, you can check out this video here.